Hello everyone, my name is Masha and today I'm going to teach you how to make these polka dot chevron bracelets. So as you can see, I've already made 5 of these. I originally made the green one and I liked the pattern so much that I decided I want to start a collection of them and make one for each colour of the rainbow. And I must say, I'm really happy with how these turned out. I think they look really cute together. So this is a pretty simple tutorial. I do feel like beginners can easily pick this bracelet up and start making it. However, I don't think this bracelet is suitable for you to try as your first bracelet. If you've never made bracelets before, I highly recommend you watch my beginner's guide where I go over all of the beginner basics, and also watch my chevron tutorial, which is the bracelet that I recommend for all beginners to start with. This is very similar to the chevron bracelet. There's just a little bit of an adjustment for the polka dot part, which is what I will be teaching you today. So going into this tutorial, I expect that you've already made the chevron bracelet before and you're familiar with the basic knots. Now that said, let's get right into the tutorial. So as you can see, I made a few of these already. I've got a red, yellow, green and blue one, and I'm going to be doing the purple one here for this tutorial. So the way that I find is best for me in terms of length is doing one bit of chevron, then another of the polka dot, another chevron, polka dot, chevron, polka dot, chevron. So I end up with 4 just plain chevron bits and 3 polka dot bits for each of these bracelets, and I find that that for me is the best length. But it depends on how thick you make your knots, what the string type is. You might find that your length is different, so this is more like trial and error, but this is what I do. So just because I want all of them to match and I did loops for each of these, I also want to do a loop here, not just a loop but a teardrop loop. So a teardrop loop is one that starts with a sort of indent here. I do have a separate tutorial on teardrop loops, so I won't go into extreme detail here. I'll just do a little overview. So I've just done the basic loop here and I've pinned it down onto my workspace. I just have this clip that I attached to a book. I'm testing out new ways of filming, so this is one of my setups that I'm trying out. So as I said, I do have a separate tutorial on teardrop loops, so I won't be going into extreme detail here. And if you want to skip me making the teardrop loop, then skip to this point in the video. But basically when doing the teardrop loop, we want to arrange our strings in the correct order. So the way that I like to arrange them is in sort of gradient, but starting with the lighter color, then going into the dark colors and making them light again. So I've got 4 different colors here. So I'm taking out my first light color here and I'm just going to do a forward backward knot onto the entire strand. I then grab a black and I do a forward backward knot onto the entire strand, but not onto the string that I just took out. I then grab the next color that I want to take out, which is this purple for me, and I do a forward backward knot on the strand again. And then another black, and so on, bringing out all of the colors that I need in the order that I need them. And then once we finish bringing out all the colours on the left, we do the same thing on the right. So starting with the same colour again, but this time we do a backward forward knot since we are on the right. And there we go, we've successfully brought out all of the strings that we need in the order that we're going to need them in the bracelet. Now of course you don't actually need to do the teardrop loop, you can do whatever kind of start and finish you like, and I have a whole separate playlist of different starts and finishes if you want to check that out and pick out what you want to do. I'm just showing you how to do this because this is what I am doing. So of course after you finish the teardrop loop you need to connect the 2 parts. But just a pro tip, if you connect the 2 parts before you start making the bracelet, you have a higher chance of the knot in the middle sort of coming apart as you pull on the different sides of the bracelet. So what I like to do is I like to make a couple of knots on each side and only then connect the center. So if you look at the actual bracelet, you can see that it's only really consisted of 2 different parts. There is the part of the normal chevron, which hopefully you already know how to make, and the polka dot part of the chevron. So what we're really going to be looking at in this tutorial is how to make this, since hopefully you already know how to make the chevron. But the first couple of rows are the chevron, so that is what I'm going to be doing now. So for that, just like with the normal chevron, you just take the outermost string and you bring it into the center with a row of forward knots. Since we did a teardrop loop here, it's going to be a little bit different. If you're doing any other start and finish, feel free to ignore this part. But as I said, I like to connect the middle of the teardrop loop after I've already done a couple of knots, just to make sure it doesn't come apart. So I'm going to do a couple of knots here and then connect it. So as I said, just a row of forward knots with the outermost string going into the center. So there you go, I finished the left part of the first chevron. I'm now going to do the same thing on the right and then connect the two parts, so as I said, the knot is more secure. So on the right side, again, we're just doing a regular chevron. You've hopefully already made one of these before, so there's nothing special about what I'm doing here. Just taking the outermost string here on the right and doing a row of backward knots in a chevron. There we go, so I did a row on the left, a row on the right, and now, as I said, I'm going to connect the two parts, and then I'm going to bring the rows all the way into the center, securing the middle knot. So I'm just making a knot in the middle between the two strings of the teardrop loop. There we go, and now I can bring these strings that were doing the chevron all the way into the center, securing that knot that was in the middle. And then a knot in between them, just closing the chevron. And there we go, the row is now complete. Now again, if you were doing any other type of start, then this of course doesn't apply to you. This is just like a tip for people who also want to do teardrop loops. So we've done the row of the chevron. We just need to do a couple more of these rows. So as you can see, you've got the four colors here in the chevron, but also you've got the black rows in the middle and also after them. So I've only done one row here. I still need to do black, then purple, black, light purple, black, lighter purple, and then the black. So I'm just going to do these rows of chevrons, and then once we actually get to the polka dot, I will show you what to do then. So I've just finished up that top portion of the bracelet, as you can see. So there's four colors and black in between them. There's also a black after the colors. So this is the point where I'm going to get into the polka dot part of the chevron. Both of the sides are mirrored. So what we're going to be doing on the left side is going to be exactly the same, but opposite on the right side to mirror that. So I'm just going to focus on the left side for now. So this row is going to be focusing on the outermost color here. So what essentially we're doing is we're also doing just a chevron, bringing this color from the outermost edge to the innermost edge, but we're intercepting that chevron with black parts every other knot. So the first knot is actually a black knot. So we take the next string, which is a black string, and we do a backward knot onto our color string. Just like so, making a black knot. We then take the next string and we do a forward knot, bringing our color string into the center. We then encounter another black string, so the next string is the black. We do a backward knot with the black. So we've got a black knot, a color knot, and then a black knot again. Next, we do another color knot. Then again, we can see that the next string here is the black, so we do a backward knot with the black onto our color string. Then a forward knot with our color string. And then the next one again is a black, so we do a backward knot with that black onto the color string. And there we go, you can see that we've moved this string from the outermost edge into the center, just like we do with a chevron, but every other knot is a black knot. So essentially, every time we were moving this string, if we are encountering a black knot, then we do a black knot to the left, a backward knot, but when we're encountering other color strings, we were doing forward knots with our color string, which resulted in a black color, black color, black color, black. So now we're going to do the exact same thing on this side, except opposite since it's the right side, and then we're going to connect the 2 strings in the middle. So again, we take the outermost string. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be bringing it from the outermost edge to the center in a chevron, but every time we encounter a black string, we're going to be doing a forward knot instead. So this is the first knot we're doing here. This is the black string. So we're going to start with a forward knot, making a black knot with the black string. Next, we're encountering a color string, so we're going to do a backward knot with our color string. Next is a black string, so we're going to do a forward knot, making a black knot. Next, we do a backward knot with our color string, and then a forward knot with the black, then a backward knot with the color string, one last forward knot with the black. And now, since both of our color strings are in the center, we're just going to connect the row. And there we go, we now have a row of a chevron with alternating color and black knots. So that's essentially all you need to do. There are chevron rows and then there are polka dot rows. So we've done the entirety of the chevron rows for the top. We've done the first polka dot row here. Now we're going to do just a black chevron to close off this polka dot, then another polka dot, another black chevron, another polka dot, another black chevron, another polka dot, another black chevron, and then a row of chevrons. So we've just done the polka dot, so we're going to do a row of black chevron just to close off this polka dot area. There we go, I've just done a row of black chevron to close off this polka dot row. And now we're going into another polka dot row. So I'm just going to do one more row just to demonstrate once again. So this time we're going in with the deep purple, and we're going to do a backward knot since the first string is black. So we're going to do a black knot onto the color string. Then the next string is a color string. We're going to do a forward knot with our color string. Then the next is black, so a backward knot, a forward knot, a backward knot, a forward knot, and one last backward knot. So there we go, the left side is done. Same for the right side, but of course the opposite knots since we are on the other side. We're going to start with a forward knot with the black string onto our color string, then a backward knot onto the other color string, a forward knot with the black, a backward knot, a forward knot, a backward knot, and one final forward knot, and then connecting these two in the middle in a knot as well. So there we go, the second row of the polka dot is complete. Now again, what I'm going to be doing afterwards is just a row of black chevron to close off this row. And what you see here is we're doing one for each of the colors. So I've done 2 already, I need to do 2 for the other colors, then close it off, and then just the same thing, but just regular chevrons. So as I said, there's only really 2 steps here. You've got the polka dot rows and the chevron rows. There's nothing else to do here. So I'm just going to finish this center bit for now. There you go, I've finished the first bit of the chevron and the first bit of the polka dot. I don't have much else to show you guys, you just have to continue making the chevron, the polka dot, the chevron, the polka dot as you continue the bracelet. And as I showed you before, I do 4 chevrons and 3 polka dots for each bracelet, but it depends on how long you want to make yours. And that's it for the tutorial. I'm just going to finish off this bracelet and I'll be right back with you. And there you have it. This is what the bracelet looks like when it's finished. And here it is with all of its siblings. As I said, I decided I want to do a collection for this, and I've now finished it, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It's just like a quick tutorial on this beautiful bracelet. I think this bracelet is really easy to make, and obviously I think it looks really cool since I made 5 of these. So if you ever make one of these, be sure to tag me on Instagram, and I'd love to see your guys' creations as well. Before I go, I want to give a special shout out to my patrons, and especially my top supporters, who are Tia, Jane, Zoe, Izzy, Lisa, Mads, Nicole, Emilia, and Sarah. Thank you guys so much for your support. It really means a lot to me. And if you also want to become a Patreon, there is a link down in the description where you can sign up and get exclusive perks for your donations. So again, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I post videos on Wednesdays and Sundays, and also sometimes I post bonus videos, so keep your eyes out for that, and I will see you next time. Bye!